he's coming back.
Part of my job on American Horrors is to bring you nothing but the best, bloodiest directors in America. And tonight, my guest is C.M. Downs, a man who really knows how to spill the red stuff. Currently in Los Angeles doing pre-production on his new film Depravity, Mr. Downs was kind enough to find a little time in his bloody schedule to talk to us. Well, you're here in Los Angeles now, and you're trying to get, you're working on getting financing for your current film, Depravity.
Yep.
Tell me a little bit about this new film and about your journey to Los Angeles.
Well, this is the second time that I've been out here. We're pretty far along. I mean, right now we got a lot of great cast and crew attached to the film. We're trying to, find a distributor or, a production company that wants to pick the film up and get it made. We want to shoot in Pittsburgh. Just, it's the ideal location to do it for lots of reasons.
Besides it being Romero's stomping grounds for Night of the Living Dead?
Cameron Romero is actually one of my producers on this film. Corey Peterson's the other. We have some really great crew. We got Bobby Burns from, he was a stunt coordinator on Smoking Aces. He worked Titanic, all the Spider-Man.
Well, you're in town and you're meeting with money people. What does that mean?
In my case, I'm going there with the trailer that I shot for the film. A really nice poster. And an entire package that's like, this is what the film is, this is how much it's going to cost, this is who's going to star in it, this is where we're going to shoot it, this is why we're going to shoot it there. When you're talking to these people, you really got to be able to run these numbers and push things out fast where they get really impressed and say, okay, this is the right guy. Mm-hmm. So that's where we're at right now, and it's going very well. This has been a very productive week, I think.
One of the reasons that your work is so intense is because you're making it for you. And you haven't had like a bunch of suits telling you what's suitable for a mass audience.
You start out in this really low budget world, and eventually you get to a point where it's like, okay, I can make a much better film if somebody would give me the opportunity at this point. You're basically giving up your entire life to go for that. So, particularly with this film, this will be a 3-year adventure.
Really? You figure it's going to take 3 years?
Yeah, well, I'm going on 2 years into it now. I wrote the script. I've been out shopping the film around. I've had to fire some of my producers and get new guys, and it's tough.
And how did you decide who you were going to hire for that position? How did you find a guy like that?
I wanted Cameron Romero and Corey Peterson because those guys are diehard horror guys, and I want producers that are horror fans like myself, so we can make the horror film.
But how did you hear them? How did you figure out that they were the guy?
I had talked to Cameron a few times on the phone. And talked to Corey, and I said, hey, I'd love to have you work on this film with me and do this. He's like, absolutely, this script is amazing. I would love to work on this. And he's done work with Cameron before, so he asked Cameron, he's like, have you talked to Chris? And he said, yeah.
What made you decide to call them up? Did you know, did they make a bunch of other movies? Did you hear about them?
They've done other films, but they're horror fans.
But how did you know that?
Because
how did you figure this out?
Their prior work. I live in the Midwest at this point, and these guys are, they're all out in Pittsburgh, where basically it all started, right? So they're perfect for the project. You and I talked about this, right? It's the how do you make a real horror movie if you don't have horror fans behind it or somebody that really understands horror? So I wanted to make sure that everybody on the core front end of my film is a horror junkie. This way I know I'm getting as a director, I'm getting everything I want because they're going to back me up and go, oh yeah, cut her head off, that's wonderful. More blood, yeah. And they're going to give me what I need, and it works.